Breaking news! Things are getting more and more lively behind the scenes at the Baltimore Ravens. Today I need to talk to you about Justin Tucker. I'll tell you everything that's been going on. But first make sure you've hit the like button if you agree that you're a great Ravens fan. If you believe we're going to make it to Super Bowl 60, write something like this: Go Ravens! I believe! Now let's talk about Tucker. The Baltimore Ravens aren't just sitting around, they're looking at what could be the next step in their storied kicking tradition. That's right, Ravens fans, the team has its eye on Florida State kicker Ryan Fitzgerald, a finalist for the Lou Groza Award and a first-team All-American who was an automatic selection last season. Fitzgerald made 13 of 13 field goals and was perfect on extra points in 2024. Following a 2023 season in which he made 19 of 21 field goals and converted 58 of 58 extra points. This isn't just due diligence, it's strategic, deliberate interest. He's already had private workouts with the Patriots, has sessions scheduled with the Commanders and, most importantly, our Ravens. Why is this significant? Because the Ravens aren't just looking at any undrafted prospect, they're focusing on one of the best players in the country. This attention signals that Baltimore is seriously considering its kicking future, something few fans thought would be necessary anytime soon with Tucker still around. But let's be real, NFL front offices don't go after top-tier kickers unless they sense the winds of change. Now, what could Baltimore actually do with Fitzgerald? They could use one of their 11 draft picks. Yes, they're stocked this year, and spend a late-round pick on him. Some fans might scoff at the idea of drafting a kicker when there are pressing needs elsewhere, but remember this, special teams win games. With that many picks, using one on a proven, accurate kicker wouldn't be wasteful, it could be insurance. On the flip side, if they pass on drafting him, they could try to snag him as an undrafted free agent. But that opens the door for other teams to beat them to the punch. If Baltimore really wants him, they might need to put their money where their mouth is, with a fat signing bonus that says, you're the next one up. All of this, of course, reflects on where the front office stands with Justin Tucker. If Fitzgerald gets drafted or is signed quickly after the draft with real investment, it might be the clearest sign yet that the Ravens are preparing for a post-Tucker era. And while it may not mean a separation is imminent, it's a bold signal that they're looking beyond 2025. Speaking of bold moves, Ravens fans are split. While the front office has made solid additions in free agency over the past few years, there's a loud contingent of fans who feel Baltimore isn't doing enough to get over the championship hump. They've had rosters good enough to win it all, especially the last two seasons, but something always slips. The lack of a major, aggressive signing or trade has fans asking, where's the all-in move? From the trenches to the edges, many fans are pleading for that one dominant, game-wrecking force on either side of the ball. Take James Pierce Jr., for example, an elite edge rusher from Tennessee. Ravens Nation is buzzing about him as a potential first-round target, but there's controversy. Reports of immaturity and coachability issues have surfaced, potentially as a draft smokescreen. Still, his coach defends him, and on tape, he's a menace. If Baltimore believes the character concerns are overblown, Pierce could be that high-ceiling pick who provides immediate and long-term value at a critical position. The fan base isn't just calling for pass rush help either. There's talk of investing in the interior defensive line. Names like Mason Graham and Derek Harmon are getting thrown around. The idea? Build a bully, dominate the trenches like Philly does, and unleash havoc without over-reliance on blitzes. That would make life easier for everyone, from Marlon Humphrey to Kyle Van Noy, and give the Ravens the kind of front that quarterbacks fear. And here's where things get even spicier. Some fans are calling for the unthinkable, using tight end Mark Andrews as trade bait to get back into the first round or scoop up a second pick. It's bold, controversial, and absolutely Ravens-level chess. The logic? Baltimore has 3 tight ends on expiring deals, and Charlie Kolar might be the easiest one to replace. Trading him and a pick for a big blocking tight end might make sense. But what about Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely? Bigger contracts, bigger headaches. If Baltimore is serious about refreshing their identity, tough decisions may lie ahead. All this energy, debate, and strategy boils down to one undeniable fact. The 2025 draft might be one of the most pivotal for the Ravens in recent memory. They're close, tantalizingly close to a Super Bowl, but fans want more than close. They want the confetti, they want the parade, and they want a front office that takes risks worthy of the Lombardi. So here's the question for you, Ravens flock. Are you ready for what could be a franchise-shaping offseason? What would you do if you were in the war room? Go all in on Pierce, double down on the trenches, or draft the heir to Justin Tucker's throne? Let me know in the comments. And as we look deeper into what makes this draft so critical, we can't ignore how fans are watching General Manager DeCosta more closely than ever. A recent discussion sparked around DeCosta's draft record raised eyebrows. Some fans are beginning to question if he's really maximizing the potential of his draft capital. Year after year, Baltimore is loaded with picks, but the perception is that too few of them become consistent contributors. Is that really true, though? It's important to understand that the Ravens aren't like rebuilding teams who hand rookies starting jobs. This roster is built to win now. Veterans dominate the depth chart, and unless a rookie is absolutely special, he's not walking in and taking someone's job. That's not a flaw. It's a sign of a team that's already near the top. So when fans say only a handful of draftees contribute each year, it's not always a knock. It might just be a reflection of how good the team already is. Still, the demand for more impact players is real, and there's pressure on DeCosta to not just draft good players, but difference makers, guys who flip the script. That's where positional value comes in. Defensive line, edge rusher, offensive tackle. These are areas where Baltimore needs more than depth. They need power, disruption, and day one starters. James Pierce, Mason Graham, and Derek Harmon, these aren't just fan favorites, they're potential foundation pieces. Guys who can wreck a pocket or anchor the line for years. That's the kind of draft haul that turns close into champions. But it's not all about the trenches. Let's talk wide receivers, a topic that always seems to stir emotions in Baltimore. One fan even pointed out a sleeper, Will Shepard, a big X receiver who could give Lamar Jackson another true outside threat. We've seen flashes from Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, but there's still a hunger for a receiver who can physically dominate defensive backs. And let's be honest, if you want Lamar to play at his MVP best, you give him the weapons that make life easier. On defense, another name to watch is Andrew Mukuba, a rangy safety from Texas. With the looming future of Geno Stone uncertain and Marcus Williams still needing to stay healthy, having a safety with Mukuba's ball skills and athleticism could be a game-changing addition to the secondary. And with Kyle Hamilton evolving into one of the league's best hybrid defenders, pairing him with another versatile safety could open up all kinds of creative looks for Mike McDonald's defense. Then there's the offensive line, something Ravens fans know is foundational to everything. With Kevin Zeidler now in Detroit, and questions at both guard spots, Baltimore could use this draft to find a day one starter at guard or a developmental tackle who could step in when Ronnie Stanley's time runs out. Don't sleep on the possibility of the Ravens grabbing someone like Christian Haynes or Cooper Beebe, plug-and-play types who could start from week one and bring toughness and smarts to the interior. And that brings us full circle. The Ravens are entering this draft with 11 picks, but more importantly, with options. They can trade up, they can package players, they can stockpile depth or swing for upside. But above all else, they need to hit. This is the kind of offseason where the right combination of free agency finesse and draft day aggression could finally push this franchise over the top. And remember, it's not just about the draft. DeAndre Hopkins is still a hot topic among Ravens fans, and rightly so. He's one of the most consistent wideouts in the game despite playing with a revolving door of quarterbacks. And the Ravens have shown they know how to get the most out of veteran signings. Think Kyle Van Noy. Think J.V. and Clowney. Now, add Derrick Henry to the mix and imagine what could be if this offense finally balances power and finesse. Drop your thoughts. Let's hear your mock drafts, your trades, your dream picks. This offseason isn't just about what happens in the draft room. It's about the vision of the fans too. What do you want to see from the Baltimore Ravens in 2025? Let's talk about it.